Let's see if it's coming on YouTube. Yep, it's on YouTube. Let's go. 441. Okay. Nice.
I assume they can hear us, Pete, so.
coming at you, from coast to coast. The host with the most. Step inside.
Welcome to Real Hours live podcast. All at once, we are live right now on YouTube. We are happy that everyone who is on YouTube watching is joining us. Leave us a comment. Let us know who it is, who's watching, and if we at any point do little things and we ask for opinions, please give us your opinion on
Chip in.
So I'm Nate. I've got Peter here with me and Greg as well. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
What's poppin'? What's cooking?
What a thrill.
Live stream
First
number
lot.
1, baby. Oh my gosh, guys, this is not good.
Off to a good start, Peter.
Peter screwed it
Off
up
to a
already.
roaring start.
Calm down, Peter. Calm down.
I'm trying to
okay?
add the files that we're going to be playing later for the audience, but it's automatically playing them. So just
Monkeys
pardon.
escape lab with COVID-19 samples in, quote, Planet of the Apes, end quote, break.
Just bear with me for a
Without
moment.
any warning. Come on, Pete. Get it under control here.
It's going to do it again, just so you know. Next one.
Just be patient.
And
with
we're
us,
back. And we're back.
There we go.
Gosh.
That worked out very
So-
well.
It did. It did. Where are we at, fellas? How's everybody's day?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't
Big
go
lunch
out
break.
because it is a stormy day.
A freezing cold. Yeah.
A blustery one.
Yeah.
Is that the way to call something when it's like that? When it's
I was just like
blustery?
whiteout conditions. Whiteout
I was crossing the
conditions.
Mactaquac Dam today. I can only see about 4 feet in front of me.
Yikes.
Yeah, I would not have crossed the dam on a day like today. I
No,
would've
I
gone-
was just inching forward. I knew there was no car in front of me because I could see from when I was up high. I could see there was no cars in front of me, but
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to take this extremely slow, and that's how it rolls.
Yeah.
That's how it goes sometimes. But I have one more video to upload here, so just bear with me. I don't think anybody's actually watching, so we can get away with this.
That's not
That's
true.
fine.
There
Well,
are
but
people
there's
watching.
10 people watching.
There is 11
Are there 10 people
watching.
Yeah.
Don't
Wow.
sound so surprised.
Wow,
Peter.
we have fans.
Oh,
Come on.
oh,
That's a surprise for later, but you
That's
got
a
some foreshadowing,
surprise.
watchers,
Yeah.
listeners. That's
please
awesome.
let me know who
10
you are.
people
12
watching.
12. Now we got 12.
12. Oh my god, 13.
Although some of us would be the let's just people are hopping on right now. Welcome whoever it is. Please let us know.
Leave a comment.
Matt Cook is watching.
Yes.
Welcome, Matt. Is Michelle is oh my dad is here. Let's go.
Ah, come on. Is my dad here? Come on.
And it's not just Peter Moore, it's Pastor Peter Moore.
Let's go.
Yes.
Leave a comment, Pastor Peter Moore. Leave a
Andrew's
comment.
here.
Leave a
Andrew's
comment.
here.
4
Thank
comments.
you guys
Come on.
for letting us know you are here. We should probably get them some content so they stay and watch, right, Peter?
Yeah, that's
We love
true.
the
We don't
support.
wanna lose
Well,
them.
we have our first guest coming on. I told him to join at about 8:08. Your mom is here too, Nate.
Let's go.
Yes.
Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hello.
Is this PG-13? Pastor Peter Moore says. Yes.
Only the
always.
Dr. Phil content.
Oh yeah, that's coming up later. That's Real Hours After Dark. So,
No,
but
everything
we're just waiting
is
for our
PG.
first guest to join. I don't know if he shared with anybody else who's watching who it is, but I'll say it's a relative of somebody who's in the chat. I'll say that.
Oh no.
Nate,
I think
Who do you
it
think
would
it is?
have. Oh, is it? What up, boys? Is this what it's gonna be?
no. Well, he might say that, but I'm not going to say anything further. He's I don't want to give it away. I'll text him now to join.
Okay.
Join
Tell him to
anytime,
join.
buddy. Here we go.
Jared.
We should have Jared on sometime. Matt says Jared.
He hasn't been
should-
on the pod yet.
No, we should have. Your dad thinks it's Jared too.
Dad's watching too.
Hi,
Hey,
Michael.
this is great. This is old home week. This is basically everybody who like we could just have a church service right here.
This is the OG club right here. Thank you all for joining us. Hopefully we can keep you entertained.
Yeah, we're struggling right now to get started, to be honest, because
We're just waiting for
we're waiting on the guest. But
we're waiting on the guest.
well, I guess we can announce what's going on later in the podcast. So
Okay.
for anybody who's listened to the podcast for season 1 and season 2 now, you'll know that we have been one of our long running segments is Weird, Wild, and Wacky Stories. It's a podcast classic. It used to be known as Random Funny News. Okay,
OG.
That's if you're an OG listener, if you've been around since the beginning. But we're going to be doing Weird, Wild, and Wacky Stories Hall of Fame. Last week we had a story that was so good, which go back and listen to last week's podcast episode, the most recent one, if you haven't, because we're not going to give it away. It's so good that you need to just actually listen to it. Oh, nuts, buddy. Do you not have another web browser? It doesn't allow Safari, he says. Should have ran through this in the previous whatever. Should have ran through
Tell
this
him
before.
to just keep talking.
But Weird, Wild, and Wacky Stories,
Chrome.
we're going to be doing a Hall of Fame. So we've each come up with a nomination, and we're going to run through the nominations, the nominees. We have a little video or audio clip, which you probably saw when I was uploading them, because, you know, technology and hosting at the same time is something else. But we'll go through them and we'll put it up on our Instagram, Twitter, and we'll leave a YouTube poll, and you can vote. You can vote. You, the listener, can vote and decide on who should be the winner of the Weird, Wild, Wacky Stories Hall of Fame. This will be the inductee from season 1, episode 6 to season 1, episode 1 to episode 6, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back when it was the OG random funny news.
This is
I think it
democracy.
changed to Weird, Wild, Wacky Stories
It actually-
partway through that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it
I
did.
think
Yeah.
2 episodes.
Yeah. Producer Greg, what was it like going back through and listening to all that audio?
It was a good time. I'll admit I put it on 1.5 times speed just to kind of get through it, but I enjoyed it. I hadn't listened to them since they first came out, so it was a little bit of a throwback to good old early COVID times. But I enjoyed it. It was good to see how far you guys have come since then in the
Hey.
podcasting.
In the content sector.
When I
content
went back and listened, I couldn't believe how my USB mic, that thing stinks. Oh my word, I was peeking the whole time. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Okay, so so we usually start with our weeks or whatever. So since we're still killing the time waiting for guest number 1, I have a question. What is what is one part of your hygiene routine that you're really enjoying right now? Come on, we're the
Manscaped.
three.
I'm just kidding.
Because I'll explain why I asked, because I'll say mine first, and I've talked to you, Peter, about this. I've talked to lots of people, but I have always been bothered by the amount of neck hair. No one likes neck hair. And so I just have like a trimmer, my beard trimmer, that also works as like, you know, it'll buzz or whatever and it'll trim as best as it can. But it's always lacked in the category of like actually, you know, a clean shave underneath. And so I tried just like a classic manual razor that you'd get from Costco, and it gave me like a lot of irritation and I just wasn't feeling it. And then I tried
The old Andrew Luck neck beard. What do we think about that?
So that's pretty gross. So I actually bought a safety razor, and I've actually found it really effective, and I've really liked it. And I've really been enjoying making sure that my neck hair is not looking like a forest. Although it is right now, because I am... If I'm going out of the house, I do it. But if I'm sitting at home all day, then it's March break, you know? So
I have heard the safety razor hype that it's worth kind of checking it out at least and trying.
Have you
it.
used
A
it,
lot of
Greg?
people like it. I've never used one before.
Okay.
Because I've got lots of razor cartridges that I still have to use up because I go through them so slowly.
That's where I'm at too. I have a bunch that I have to kind of use up before I switch over. But the plan is to switch over to the old safety razor.
Yeah.
Not that I have
Good
that
man.
much facial hair to actually worry
Yeah.
about, but some of our listeners out there actually do have quite a bit of facial hair. Matt Cook,
Matt Cook
Yep,
does.
yep.
big bearded man. Michael Jewett, beard. He's got a beard. Peter Moore, very clean shaven most of the time. But how often does your dad shave?
Well, you probably saw him about as scruffed
Oh
up as
yeah, that's
when
right.
you were
That's
on the
right.
funny footpath.
When we hiked for he probably went without shaving for 2 or 3 days there. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm much more of a clean shaven person. I just think that. I'm also very limited. Anyway, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Our first guest has arrived. I'm going to add him to the stream, ladies and
Let's
gentlemen.
go.
Welcome our first
Jared
guest.
Dude.
What's up, boys?
He's on. He's on.
Jared.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
go.
That's a relief. Sorry about the difficulties, Jared. I should have let you know. I think I knew that it didn't work with Safari or anything other than Chrome, but I just must have not even thought about that. But glad you made it. Can you hear me? Can you hear
You
us?
can hear us, right? Oh,
Everything's super jumbled right now. I'm getting a bunch of voices and a bunch of delay, but
Oh, nuts.
Uh-oh.
Oh, nuts.
freaking technology, eh?
This is off to a roaring start.
I just had to get on to get Nate to quit talking about his facial hair.
Well, Jared, you probably got echoing because you probably have the YouTube tab open. So close the YouTube tab.
Just 1 second.
Oh
There you
yeah,
go.
I had that happen at the start.
Yeah, me too. I've put together. I'll foreshadow what we're getting into. I've put together a bit of trivia to do with our guest, Jared. Is that any better, Jared?
Yeah, we're working good now.
Perfect.
Ah, good man.
I've
good man.
put together a game, some trivia, and we all know Jared is a bit of a music aficionado, and as he's a very famous guitar player, he played in the band Crossout, the lead guitarist.
Yes.
Also, Van Valen too. That was a pretty big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, you're the
Crossout,
drummer.
You actually put out a single, so Van Valen's kind of cool, but check out the Van Valen T-shirt behind you. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at the shrine he has.
yes.
Look at
Gotta
the
rep that
shrine he has
merch.
behind him. He's got a
Check us
guitar
out.
poster.
Is that your John Mayer?
He made his bed. That's one step further than Nate went.
There we go.
Savage.
Called out.
Yeah, he's got the John Mayer shirt there too. The big John Mayer trip.
Yep. Well, I'm wearing my
Another
John Mayer
legendary
merch
story.
right now too. Actually, which is funny enough. But
Hey, there we go.
okay, fellas, let's get right into this. Let's not keep the people waiting. I've put together music trivia, okay, and I've put together
Oh.
5 questions. We can go further if needed. I can always look up one of those old BuzzFeed quizzes.
Wait, Peter, we
Yeah,
should
yeah.
stop. I don't think you ever explained who this man that just joined the call
Right,
is.
because everybody in the stream knows who he is, but nobody who else watches later might not. Okay,
Yeah.
give him the introduction he deserves, Nate.
Heck no, that's on you. I was making you do it. You're better at the introductions. Give him an introduction.
Well, Jared's somebody who I've been friends with since grade 5 or grade 6, I think.
Those
Anyway,
middle school football days.
no, elementary school. I'm pretty sure it's grade 5 now. I think about it.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were both pretty trash, myself especially. The coach always handed the ball to his son. That's as far as I'll go.
Got some real content on Real Hours right now.
Nothing wrong with his son. His son's a talented football player, and I don't blame him for the one getting the ball. It was the dad. So, and that was our most successful our best way to win the game anyway, because we were all
Yeah.
trash. So
Sorry, is this real hours or petty hours with Peter Jewett?
Uh-oh.
Tell us
Just
how
gotta
you
air it out,
really
just gotta air it out.
Yeah. Breathe
Wait
in
for the
and
music
out.
to end. Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're back.
Continue.
So Jared's somebody that we've been friends with for a while, and we've worked with him at summer camp. We've traveled with him. We've
Across the globe, really.
yeah.
If Providence, Rhode Island is the world.
Oh, we went
Yeah,
to Dartmouth too, boys. Don't forget.
Oh, right. Cross the Dartmouth Ferry.
Hey, that
Into
was
the
our
town.
biggest sea crossing.
Yeah. I just,
honestly, I
Across the
think about this-
pond.
across the pond. Anyway, Jared's attending Crandall University of Moncton, and he's in his third year. He is working on kind of a dual degree. He's a big student. Very studious, and always working at his hardest. Jared, tell the people a little bit about yourself, a little bit about what you like in terms of sports and music, and just like, yeah, it's on you now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my wall shows it pretty well. But huge John Mayer fan. Love music. Play a lot of music. Listen to a lot of music. Big Raptors fan. Big Patriots fan. Peter and I are both pretty big Patriots fans, and don't mind telling people that. But
No, we
yeah,
don't. We
just-
definitely don't.
just living the life here in Moncton in Crandall University, having a good time, trying to stay sane during COVID. And yeah, it's good to be with the boys tonight. Miss you guys a lot. And it's great to just hang here on Real Hours.
For sure.
So this is why I wanted to do music with Jared, because Jared knows a lot about old music, and Nate knows his stuff, and Greg, ladies and gentlemen, Greg, tell us a little bit about why you know so much music.
Why do I know about so much music?
Because your father, obviously.
Yes, Tony Parks. What a legend. He has introduced me to the legendary genre of classic rock. Brought me up well and proper, I guess you could say. And a lot of my musical tastes nowadays have him to thank. That is for sure.
I just remember the first time I drove in a car with you and your father. I think you were just picking me up to drive me somewhere. This is back in the day. And the satellite radio was on. What are the satellite radio channels he likes? There's like, what are they called?
Okay, so there's 60s on 6, 70s on 7, 80s on 8, and then Yacht Rock,
Yacht Rock. Yes.
classic vinyl,
Yes.
Under the Bridge. Those are all some classics.
And I'm not laughing at Yacht Rock. I in fact love Yacht Rock.
Peter,
any
Peter
of you-
loves a good yacht rock.
Any of you listeners out there, you should know. I have had a conversation on Twitter with Canadian rock legend Jeremy Taggart, formerly of the band Our Lady Peace, about Yacht Rock. And I just want to say he's following my Spotify playlist of Yacht Rock.
Is he on the
So
podcast tonight too? Is he coming?
No, he's not. I asked him to come on. I tweeted at him. I said, hey, we were having a good conversation. And then it ended when I asked him to join the podcast.
That's happened twice. I
ghosted
think
you.
I think you're doing that with Max Kerman too. Every time we ask them to be on the
Yeah.
pod, you get
Yeah,
ghosted.
Max won't come on the pod. But we still look up to these people. We still love these people. We just they don't have a lot of time for us. But
They're
but
busy
they're busy.
people. We
It's okay.
understand.
It's okay. So let's get right into it. Music trivia with Jared Cook. Okay.
So
I've
we
taken a
all
bit
answering
of-
these, or is it just me?
No.
I
Everybody.
think
Okay,
everybody.
good.
Everybody. All three of you. I'm the only one who knows this. So who knows the answers to these like right off because I put it together. But I've taken a theme, so don't go. I'm expecting you gentlemen to, the code here is live by the golden rule and don't cheat. Okay, no Google, no secondary devices, no anything. Okay, so the theme is on this day
No
in
promises.
music history. Okay. We have
Okay.
2 birthdays. We have a song release. We have 2 other really random things. So, the first question, we'll start from the furthest back in time, 1962. Born on this day in 1962. So, do you have any ideas?
Man, that's it. That's all you're giving us.
I have more clues.
not a lot
I
to
just
go
wanted to know
off,
if you knew it
Peter.
off the top of your head. off the top of your head. This artist's band is named after him. Okay.
We're not talking Bruce, are we?
No.
Okay.
No,
No.
because that's the E Street band that he plays with.
Right.
He sang this line, and Greg, I think you'll get this. Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink. Come on.
I don't know.
His song is one of the songs that Han Valen really, really sang that we did a lot.
See, now I unfortunately did not get the pleasure of
Greg's
seeing
kind of
Van
out of
Halen
his
live,
element
so-
when it comes to that, isn't it? Let me
Yeah.
do a screen share of his face, and we'll see if you guys can guess it from that. You should be able to. It should be a dead giveaway, to be honest. But Let's see if we can.
Is it Bon Jovi?
It is John Bon Jovi,
Yo!
in fact. It is John Bon Jovi. I didn't
Let's
even
go.
need to pull up the screen share. Congratulations to Jared. Jared has 1 point.
Oh,
I'm expecting
yeah.
you guys.
We used
Go
to
ahead, Nate.
do. What was it that we used to do? What
Living
song
on a
was
Prayer.
it? Yeah, living on a
Yeah,
prayer.
living on a prayer. Yeah.
We used to rock that one.
Anyway, yeah. Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink that's dead or alive.
Okay.
I remember playing that on Rock Band a long time ago somewhere. When I was
playing
like,
along at home too. If you answer before us, then
put it
tally
in the
up your
comments. Yeah,
score.
we'll send you a
Yeah.
sticker when we get our stickers if you guess it before us.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
No Google,
Yeah, no,
No
Googling.
Google.
no Bing, no and other search engines, no DuckDuckGo, whatever. None of those
Yahoo.
crappy Yahoo trash.
Firefox.
Ask.
Can't
Jeeves.
use Safari. It doesn't work.
Yeah, Safari's not compatible with StreamYard. By the way, thank you to StreamYard for sponsoring this segment, this whole podcast. Born
Not
on this
by
day,
choice.
gentlemen. Question number two. Born on this day in 1977. Okay. Now, I didn't know if you guys might have caught it's this guy's birthday. Anyway, this artist's band has 4 albums that have reached number 1 on the Billboard 200 since 2005. Okay.
Since 2005?
Since 2005.
So, and you said 77?
1977.
40s, right? 40?
Yeah. This
44?
artist's band
44.
Yeah.
was originally known as Starfish before it was changed to another name that is also sort of 2 words put together with one with no space in the middle.
I think I know the band. I just cannot think of his name.
What's
if
the
I
band,
say
Greg?
if I say the band, will I get the point?
If you say the band, you get the point, I think.
Is it Coldplay?
It is Coldplay. It is, in
Yes.
fact, Chris Martin's
Yes.
birthday.
Chris
Oh,
Martin.
I see,
One
yeah.
for Jared, 1 for Greg. Okay, we've got 3 questions left.
So
we might go a
wait,
little bit longer if we're feeling good about it.
So speaking of Coldplay and Van Valen, I think there's an appropriate nod that needs to be made to.
There is.
No,
Warm
I have
Paws.
beef. We were way before
Jared,
them.
have you ever heard about
No, no,
Warm
no.
Paws?
They're
Don't
a
think so.
joke.
Oh,
They're a
Greg,
joke.
can you explain who Warm Paws
Warm
is, please?
Paws was the legendary air band that came out of Keats Camps 2018.
Who else was
And-
Who else was in this band?
Well, it's all people from BC. So, there was Caleb, our Nate's brother,
Our friend.
favorite Moore brother.
Shout out.
Yeah, and then there was some more guys from BC that, like Jacob and Kevin and Aaron.
Kevin
just to name
Hackett,
a few.
who is
Kevin
a
Hackett, yes,
massive musician
the famous rapper Kevin Hackett.
who's worked with 116, by the way,
Yeah,
or 116,
116.
whatever. It's pretty lame, to be honest. Van Valen was. Oh,
Oh, I thought you were calling 116 lame. You're calling Warm Paws?
yeah.
Oh, we lost Peter. Okay, he's back.
No,
He's
the camera went away. We're gonna ride with this. It's being silly.
Okay.
It just powered
That's
off.
fine.
So,
Okay.
this is really going very well, fellas. Okay,
Hey.
number 3 on the trivia.
Stay composed.
On this day, also in 1977, this artist was arrested for running a red light and possessing marijuana.
Well, that's just about every musician ever.
yeah.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
70s were
Um,
wild.
This musician is known. So were the 50s, the 60s, and the 80s.
It's all
this,
wild.
This musician is known primarily for playing the bass in his band. Okay. Now he may
No
be
bass players.
the most famous musician in his band now.
Can I
He
try
might
it?
not. Yeah, try it.
Is it Rush?
No, it's not Rush. It's not Rush. It's not Geddy Lee. Although that
That
would have been
was
a
my
good
first
Canadian bit of
guess.
trivia. I
That-
was looking for Canadian music trivia, but couldn't find any. The musician's side project was a band called Wings.
Is it Sting?
No, Sting. Sting.
Ah,
We do love
man.
Sting.
I'm going off the bass players, man.
But
Paul
he wasn't
McCartney.
limited to only bass. He played piano, guitar, he sang.
I think Greg
was it
just
Paul
said it.
McCartney?
It's Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Greg just-
Paul McCartney. And
we almost
funny
flew right by that.
funny story. Sorry, I didn't even hear you say that, Greg. I have turned you up a little bit, but look at this. We just got an awesome comment.
Unreal comment.
Amazing. Amazing. That's too good. That's too good.
Another
Okay, back-
member of Ham Valen.
Yeah, Ryan, he didn't want to be stuck with the bass, and we broke up, and we had a bit of an issue there, and then he came back, and
He wanted my
Drama.
lead guitar spot.
we tried. We tried without him, and it didn't work. We really trash. So everybody, the
Sometimes-
band always needs all of its members. Okay. Paul McCartney, by the way, when he ran a red light, the cop caught him. Came up to the car. The car smelled like marijuana, so obviously he searched the car. But they pinned the charges on Paul McCartney's wife and not on Paul McCartney. So
Uh-oh.
anyway, I thought that was a bit rude and uncalled for and unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Moving forward almost 2 decades to 1996, we have this song was released on this day in 1996. Okay, this band is known for its brother members Noel and Liam. We know the band for its other hit song Wonderwall.
Oasis.
It's Oasis. What's the other Oasis song?
They had more than one song.
They had these two songs pretty much. They had these two songs.
They're one
Okay.
hit wonder. Wonderwall was the only one. I don't believe you.
Wonderwall.
One hit
it's-
Wonderwall.
It's Don't Look Back in Anger is what it is.
I've never heard that song in my life.
Okay. Anyway, I've heard of it. Clearly nobody else has. I should have
Doesn't exist.
tested that on somebody else instead. This is the last question that I have here. Currently, Greg's at 2, Jared's at 1, Nate's at 0. So unfortunately, Nate, you can't win unless we decide to continue on. But you can tie with Jared. You can tie for second. On this day in 2009, Liverpool University, which is in England, launched a master's program about this artist. Straight up about this artist. So you should think about which bands originated in Liverpool.
Would it be John Lennon?
So it's about the band. It's not about.
Oh, okay.
It's
we've
not
already
about,
had a Beatles. We've
it's the
already had a
Beatles.
Beatles question, but is it the Beatles?
It is the Beatles, Greg.
I like to say that I said it first, but okay.
Okay, well we'll give it to
Well,
Nate. Greg
Nate
still
gets
wins.
the point.
We got a replay option?
I'm sorry. I honestly can't hear all your guys' voices at the same time. Yeah, that's it. I wanted to try this one thing here. Before we move on from music trivia, and we're going to ask the listeners for a little bit of help with this. I would like to see if we can name the top 15, or maybe try and get as many of the top 20 as we can of Canadian artists by album sales.
Oh,
Just fire them
got
off.
this in the bag.
Fire them off.
Just like the band name? Like that's what we're
Band
going
name, individual name, just fire them off.
with? Okay, we'll start Arkells, right? I assume.
Nope.
Oh, really?
This is no, not even close.
Are we going from first to 15th or just any?
No. Just fire the names off. We're asking for help
Justin
from the listeners
Bieber.
for this too. Justin Bieber, that's correct,
Okay.
Andrew. Thank you.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber is number
Weeknd.
11 on the list.
The Weeknd.
The Weeknd is not on the list. Brian
Oh,
Adams by
really?
Michael Jewett. Yes, that's right.
The Trues?
No.
No.
Think about the
They're
massive Canadian
underground.
artists.
The Hip. Tragically
Yes,
Hip.
they're number 3.
Yeah.
Drake?
Rush.
Rush
Oh.
is 26th. Drake is not on the list,
close.
although I assume this is an old list and he would be on the top of the list if we include streaming.
Can we just take a second to go over the fact that the two people who put Brian Adams are our fathers? Really aging themselves tonight.
So we got Shania Twain, Celine Dion, and Bryan Adams from our listeners. That's lovely. I hope none of the listeners are using Google. We can nail off one person I already talked about in the podcast. Our Lady Peace is on that list. Oh,
Adam Moore.
Oh
Cross
my
that
gosh.
out. Wow.
Oh my god. Yeah, cross.
Okay, do you have a list? Where are we at?
I have a list. We've got the top two. The third is on the list is known for his Christmas albums. Oh, Alanis
Michael
Morissette. That's
Bublé.
right.
Michael Bublé, yeah.
Oh. Wait. Yeah, she's 18. That's perfect. Good one. Dad's calling out Corey Hart. Corey Hart is not on that list. I imagine he's further down, but he's one of those one song people. You know, Sunglasses at Night, classic. Yeah. So we got. Oh, come on. Look at this graph.
Nickelback.
Nickelback. Yes.
Oh, what's
Skater
that other
Boy?
band that's... Oh, Avril Lavigne.
You got it.
What about April Wine? Are they up there? Are they Canadian? They're
I
Canadian,
don't know.
right?
We can come on. There's two awesome Canadian bands that are on this that are like, if you think of a Canadian band, you think of these people. If I had $1 million, come on.
Is July Talk on it?
Bare Naked Ladies.
No, they're not. Bare Naked Ladies. And then we've got Neil Young from My Father. Look at this. This is awesome. Matt Cook, Nickelback. We already got that, buddy.
It's probably delayed. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Right.
probably
Don't give
So-
him excuses.
So Great Big Sea and Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh.
So and I think that's most of the list here. There's Leonard Cohen, I think we missed, and a couple other people I'd never heard of. So anyway, we'll move on from that. Probably our listeners know them, but we don't, just because we're all born after the year 1998 or something like that.
I think that's
So-
right. Yep.
Correct.
Let's move on. Let's move on, fellas.
Oh,
Jared,
I have a
we're going to
question.
move on
I
to-
have wait, Peter. I have a question.
Oh yeah.
I have a personal music trivia.
Okay.
Now, Greg might be at a disadvantage, but I've said this before, and I want to see if you guys remember. What song, if I could bring any musician back to sing any song, what song would it be?
Oh, it's the hip. Oh,
I know what it is. Yeah. Give me a second. Bob Cajun.
Bob
Gord
Cajun,
Downie.
that's it. Oh, it's Gord Downie.
Do you have
Yeah.
your guitar, Nate? Break that sucker.
Wait,
out.
no. Look, I got this a couple years ago. Bob Cajun's on this one.
It was in Bob Cajun.
It was in Bob Cajun.
Yo, was that
I
a St.
saw
John
the
find, Nate?
constellation.
No, my parents got me this for Christmas a couple of years ago. Yeah. We got one of my Arkell's records in St. John, I think.
Oh yeah.
I love Canadian music, so I just
Greg,
thought-
you've got vinyl.
I do have some vinyl.
What's your favorite vinyl?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean,
I think I can answer it.
go for it.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Vince Gill
That's what I was
Rarity.
gonna say.
Yeah.
It just it's got the vinyl sound. Like
Yeah.
it's oldies, it's jazz. It just sounds phenomenal. I love it.
You think any of our listeners have vinyl? I don't think so, huh? No, nobody at least that we know is watching. Maybe people who are like other people outside of who we know. But let us know if you have any vinyl. Put it in the comments. I'd be interested to hear. I'd like to have vinyl, but it's just like I just don't think it's worth the investment at this time of my life. I think it would sink a lot of money into that.
See, you got to do what Nate did, and so he started buying the records first, and then bought the record
Yeah,
player. So then you got
yeah.
to. So that's the way to go. That's how you get into it.
We were on
Yeah,
a
you
trip
just buy the
in
records,
St.
put them up on the
John.
shelf, and then you
Yeah.
at some point just you find the record player.
A couple days later, got me a record player because I had to play the Arkell's record and the who was the other one that I got?
Did you have a Rolling Stones
Did you get a
one?
Hendrix one?
Stevie Ray Vaughan. That
There's
was
a couple
who it
old
was.
ones from
Yeah, I have
what's that?
Hendrix.
Bits and Bytes
Bits and bites.
Bits and
in
bytes.
St. John. In St. John, baby.
Oh yes.
Shout out.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
It's not a sponsor. Oh, gracious. All right. So we're gonna bring on our next guest. I'm gonna let him know he can join anytime. Jared, do you have anything to say? Do you have any questions? Do you have anything before we bid goodbye?
Man, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. This has been a blast, and
yeah.
love hanging out with you guys. Here, give the audience this. Any new ideas or fresh things coming on the podcast? Any tidbits of things that the fans can get a sneak peek into?
Oh.
Wow.
That would
Really,
involve
really put us
planning.
on the spot there, bud.
I know.
Hey, you know what? I have an article I'd like to share. I was saving it for this week's actual podcast, but I have an article I'd like to share. This is a weird, wild, and wacky story in and of itself. Let me just share my screen here, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
just want to know, are you sideswiping the question?
No, this is coming up on the podcast.
I totally thought you were completely
No,
ignoring the
it's-
question.
Well, like,
Don't do the people like that, man.
well, we'd like to do more streams. I think I'm having fun
Yeah,
with this so far.
yeah.
I'm quickly discovering
Yeah.
it takes a lot more preparation than we've put in.
I
But-
think, yeah, I
Go
think
ahead.
we like to put content out and put content out on YouTube, and I think that's kind of like one of the directions we're heading is putting more, getting more content on YouTube, and then just more presence on like social media and stuff like that, just to, get things to rolling more and getting.
We really want to
trying
be
get
TikTok
out there.
influencers.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Follow us on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And our Google Plus
No.
account.
And our Google.
Greg, you always bring up the Google Plus.
Well, Andrew brought it up the first time, and now I can't help but think about it. It's just so funny.
Follow us on MySpace.
Yeah.
Okay, let's share this last whatever it's called, weird, wild, and wacky story from the New York Times. How to unite a deeply divided Kosovo, which is an area between Albania and Serbia, and they're going to name a lake after the former
yes.
president of the United
Oh
States.
yes.
So I didn't really read this story. I just thought that we could read it all together. I was saving it for the podcast, so I didn't read it, but I thought it seems hilarious. I'm sorry. Maybe it's this Liliana. I think that's what it is. An ethnic Serb living in a waterside hamlet in northern Kosovo. Never cared for American politics. They are all against us, she said. But she took a shine to Donald J. Trump when he was in office. He's a bit crazy like we are, and he has the same hair color I do. And yeah, her suggestion was to name a reservoir of water outside of her home Trump Lake. And so they put up banners, named it Trump Lake. It's actually called something else. I don't know what it's actually called, but they just decided to call it Trump Lake because that would unite the people. This is the banner. President Trump, Kosovo Serbs, thank you for bringing peace. And some cigarettes and an old Nokia phone. That looks like a great time right there.
Yeah.
TikTok influences.
Okay. Well, Jared, our next guest has arrived. So thank you for coming on. We appreciate you coming on. We'll have to have you
coming,
on
Jared.
more in
No
the
worries,
future.
boys.
And definitely we'll let you know when we'll have you on next.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Love you,
Peace
buddy.
out, buddy.
Bye, Jared.
All right. So we can just bring on our next guest here, ladies and gentlemen. And wow.
Oh, he's
Wow.
Is that James Bond in the flesh?
It sure is. I was
What?
told to
Wow.
look myself,
Is that your
so
prom
here I
suit?
am. Yeah, it is.
What?
Oh man, this guy's quickly
Never-
stealing the show.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Real Hour's resident movie expert, Andrew Parks, the most senior guest on the podcast.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me on to this special live stream event.
Yes.
Andrew, we're so glad to have you. We are all feeling very underdressed now. Thank you for showing us up. But nonetheless, you know what? You look good. We appreciate it.
Well,
So,
thank you very much.
Andrew, we've brought you on today for a special thing for the podcast, which we talked about, and that is what are the weirdest, wildest, and wackiest stories from season 1, episodes 1 to 6. We want some of your input on this. Basically, we're just going to try and put them in the Hall of Fame. Whose idea was this? Was this your idea, Nate, or Greg's, or?
This was all me. Anyone who likes this, all me. Anyone who doesn't like this, it was Peter. Okay.
Hey, this is like a quarterback. You know, if they're winning,
Yeah.
it's all in the quarterback.
all
But
the
if they're
quarterback.
losing, it goes in the head coach. So I'm the head coach. Nate's the star
It's
quarterback.
the
Nate's
O line.
Patrick Mahomes.
It's the O line if they're losing.
Oh yeah, you know, like
That's
when
the
the
Kansas
Chiefs
City
lost the
Chiefs
Super
about
Bowl.
that. Yeah. No, that was
Okay.
the refs. Okay.
Andrew, I like how in your title you've given yourself the quote movie guru.
Yeah.
The rest of us get nothing because we're worth.
You know
nothing.
what? Can we just hand the podcast over to Andrew and he can just take over? I think I'd like to end this now. Andrew can just. This is the Andrew show now.
Yeah,
This
go
man-
for it.
I didn't mean to one up you guys in the
No,
No, it's
fashion
all, it's
department.
all good. I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
love it. I love it.
So let's get into this. This is the Hall of Fame ceremony for WWWS. Greg, we'll go through this with you here, and then we have another guest coming on, and Greg's going to step away for a little bit, actually. So we'll go through this with Greg on, and you'll have to bear with me. These are not named. I don't know what these are named, so we're going to find out what they are as we play them. So let's play the first clip here.
This kid was pulled over. He's 5 years old. He was driving his family's SUV because he was going to buy a Lamborghini. And he was mad because his mom would not buy him a Lamborghini. And he was going to try to buy a Lamborghini with $3. And the state troopers literally pulled over this 5-year-old kid. And they said they thought he was a drunk driver at first. And they learned, nope, it was a 5-year-old kid.
Nope.
Because he was just swaying back and forth, right?
Yeah, he was
the
going
state
nuts.
troopers thought, oh, this guy, he's had a little too much. He should not be driving. Pull him over. And it's this kid who's like rested his butt's right on the edge of the seat so that he could reach the gas and the brake pedal. And he probably can't even see out of the windshield, to be honest, if it's a big SUV.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that is our
number
first
one.
nominee. Nate, this was actually your
That
nomination.
was my nomination. Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about this.
So the reason I picked this one is because it's like I was trying to think, okay, what one can I even remember from episode 1 to episode 6? And this was the one that I remembered, like the only one. Not gonna lie, I have a pretty bad memory for that stuff. But so I just think it's hilarious. And there was a follow-up one in our next episode where the kid actually got to go in the Lamborghini, like with some local millionaire or whatever. And so
You were
I just
happy
thought
about that.
I wasn't, although I look back, I'm like, chill, Nate, okay? Chill. I just thought it was funny that this kid thought that he could buy a Lamborghini for $3. And this one is definitely a just wacky.
So
Just
something that
wacky.
we came up with last week, some criteria for determining how good a Weird, Wild, and Wacky story is does it have weirdness, does it have wackiness, and does it have wildness? So Andrew, what do you think is weird about this? What do you think is wild about it? And what do you think is wacky?
This is a very deep question to ask.
So, for example, in last week's podcast episode, I told you all to go back and listen to it. I'm going to give it away now. But Greg brought a wonderful story that was telling us about this couple who was having a fight.
I don't think it was a couple. It was just two people on the street.
Wow, that even adds
Yeah,
a
that
level of
makes
depth
it
to it. So
even
two
crazy.
random people who were having a fight on the street, and it was a man and a woman, and then the woman just randomly ups and kisses the man, and in the process, bites the man's tongue off, or a portion of it, and it falls down onto the sidewalk, and a seagull comes down and runs away with this guy's tongue. So this is a true story. This is a true story. But what we decided was that the weird part was that the girl decided to just like kiss him after she was fighting with him.
Yeah.
The wild part was that she bit his tongue off, and the wacky part was that the bird picked up the tongue and flew away with it. So, what do we think is weird about this story? What do we think is wild, and what do we think is wacky? I think the weird part is that the kid thought he could buy a Lamborghini for $3.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
wild would probably be the fact that he actually just got into the car and drove it away.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of wacky that he thought he could drive from Utah to California.
Yeah.
With $3.
There you go. With $3. Oh my!
Never
gosh.
gonna have to go to a gas station. Like,
No.
So, any parents who are in the chat here, just keep in mind. Let your children know that $3 is not enough to buy a Lamborghini.
Yes.
If they want to buy a Lamborghini, they need a much more complex financial plan. What advice do you have for these parents, Andrew?
Be aware that you yourself know that since you were a child, you made very stupid decisions. Like you wanting hot chocolate, so you just put a cup of milk in the oven. That's a great idea. So you want to make
hang
sure.
on.
do you have
Did that actually
experience
happen?
with this?
No, I just made that up
Oh,
Okay.
as an example.
Okay.
But like you yourself know the bad decisions that you've made, so you can only imagine the stuff that your kids are going to do because they are your spawn. So
So are you saying that it's genetic? It's hereditary.
that's right.
Some of it.
Okay, let's not get too close to eugenics. Let's stay away from that.
I think
Wow.
it's your nominee next, isn't it?
My nominee?
Whose nominee is it next?
I'm going to play the one that's next, and we'll see what it is because they're not
Okay.
labeled. So that's a
Okay.
lovely thing.
Monkeys escape lab with
There we go.
COVID-19 samples in, quote, Planet of the Apes, end quote, breakout. This is a legit thing that happened in India. India is grappling with an incident straight out of a movie after several monkeys had escaped from a laboratory with COVID-19 tainted blood samples in hand. They found the monkeys later on eating the blood samples. This is in India. This is a legit thing.
Are you sure they saw them eating them?
Yep, I saw it in a different story somewhere. This was all over a couple days ago,
Okay.
actually.
It said he added they were still intact and we don't think there is any risk.
Or maybe
of
they're
him-
trying to. Never mind. Maybe they're
Yeah.
trying to eat at them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to put any false news out there.
Fact check.
But this is crazy.
Greg, this
That
was
is
your
some-
nominee.
Yeah, that's some top tier journalism.
Go for it.
I was
from our resident journalist, Peter Jewett. I'm just teasing.
Hey.
So I love this one because I remember when I first listened to it, like I was working while I was listening to this particular episode, and I just completely lost it because I had such a vivid picture of, you know, the monkeys just like busting a window of the laboratory, like like a Tom Cruise action movie or something,
Big
like bust out
heist.
of the window and they're falling down in slow motion, vials of COVID blood in their hands. Like, I don't know, it was just such a vivid picture, and it's near and dear to my heart, I guess we'll say. As soon as I started going back through the old ones, as soon as I heard that one, I was like, yep, that's the one that I want to pick.
I'd like to say that was a very fine explanation in that episode. The way you put that out there, I wouldn't even bother reading the article. I would just take Peter's analysis and his reading of the article.
And my fake
Yeah.
news.
Yeah,
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate it.
I got you.
I'm going to school for it, so I'm glad I've been able to develop some skills. Andrew, what's weird about this?
How? Okay, well, were the monkeys part of like this research, or are they just like separate monkeys that came out of nowhere?
Random monkeys.
Yeah, the monkeys attacked a lab technician and grabbed the samples.
Okay, so the attack on the lab technician that's got to be something.
Oh, and Peter, I understand why you made that mistake because it says one of the monkeys was seen eating a surgical glove. That's
I
where
just must have
that
read
came
eating.
from.
Yep. Look at this. You've even got the article up. Look at this.
Yeah.
So weird then is probably that the monkeys attacked the person. Wild. Well, no.
Is that they
Wild is that they
took the
attacked the person.
vials.
Wild is that they attacked the person. Weird is that they took the vials. And then wacky is
Whack
just
is that they got away with it.
Some of these it's hard to come up with three things, but I still think that
It's because each
this
part
story
could
is-
be weird, wild, and wacky. You know what I mean?
yes,
Zach?
yes.
Like they cover.
It doesn't work so well with every single
Interchangeable.
story.
They don't have
But-
3 parts to the story.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can't separate them.
But with this one, man, this is a really good story.
Yeah.
This is the favorite, if you ask me. Excuse me, if you ask me. And I'm also just realizing, guys, I just realized we can't put 3 options in an Instagram poll.
You can
Maybe
do
there's a
like
way to do that.
you can do the quiz thing, but
Yeah, we
then
can
one
do
would
quiz.
have to be
That's what we're
right.
doing. That's what we're doing. Okay. Thanks to our social
Influencers.
media guru, Andrew Parks, for coming up with that strategy for us.
Yes.
Shall we move on to the last one, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Here we go. And this is, I believe, my story. This next one, we've got 2 men rob a convenience store wearing watermelon disguises. So these guys, there's a CCTV camera footage of these guys in Virginia, and they have watermelons on their head. Legitimately watermelons on their head with eye hole cutouts, going to rob this convenience store.
Is that to like make sure no one can see their face, or are they just doing a nice public deed where they're making sure they don't spread corona to anyone else? Those guys were above their time, okay? They were ahead of their time.
But not so much because COVID already happened. So
When was it? No, because like
That was
around-
May.
I guess around here people didn't start wearing masks.
yeah, it was a
months
while.
later. So
Yeah, it was a while. This story seems like it might be a bit of an underdog, if you ask me. It's a podcast classic, as Nate pointed out in our group chat earlier. Movie guru Andrew. Analysis: what's weird? What's wild? What's wacky? What's up with this story?
Oh, you can't see
Oh
that
my.
very well. Okay, never mind. I was going to show you a picture of a watermelon mask. I was going to ask if that's what it looked like.
You can I can look it up and screen share it if you want.
I don't know
it
how
was
well
like
that works.
actually watermelon head, like
Yeah,
put a
I'll
watermelon
find
on
I'll
your
find
head.
it because
The
this
picture
actually
I'm looking at is horrifying.
oh
It's like it's like a fruit out of the annoying orange cartoons.
oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
The duo
It
pulled
looks
up
like
in a
what I was
lifted
picturing.
2006 black Toyota Tacoma pickup truck and entered a Sheetz store in Louisa on May 5th while wearing carved out watermelons with holes for their eyes, according to the Louisa Police Department. The 20-year-old suspect who was arrested has been charged with wearing a mask in public while committing larceny. But you know what? He should have been wearing a mask. It's during COVID. Underage possession of alcohol and petite larceny of alcohol, police said.
You know what
Anyway.
you know what they look like?
What do they look like?
They look like you were doing like a middle school short film on aliens, and you
And your budget was like
your
$6,
budget was
so you
like
went out and got
$6.
2 watermelons.
Now, my question is, did they completely hollow out the watermelon, or was there still
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
or,
some of the...
or was it hollow out as you go, as in like eat some of it as you go?
Like they're eating it. They just like started gnawing into it and it just kind of fell onto their head in place.
Yeah.
Maybe they just like carved out a little bit and then they just shoved the watermelon on their head and all the fruit just like came out the eye holes.
That's so dark. It's basically jack-o'-lanterns on their head, pretty much, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just honestly though, that would be scary. That would be scary. Someone coming up at you with a watermelon on their head, and like if they're in a threatening position, if they have weapons, if they have anything, that'd be sketch. That'd be sketch. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave these stories for the listeners in our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter polls. Nobody follows us on Twitter, but people follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and YouTube. Sorry. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. That's how you can see these polls. And we'll do our best to promote them for about the 24 hours that they're up. And then in the next episode of Real Hours, we will let you guys know who is the number one winner or the nominee from the Hall of Fame for Weird, Wild, and Wacky Stories. So I believe now we have producer Greg is going to be taking off for a second, and coming back in his place will be another special guest. So let me just remove producer Greg here for a second, and he'll be back. He'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, to close off the stream. You got something to say, Nate?
No, I was just gonna fire a joke at him.
Hey,
Now
Greg?
that Greg's gone, we can actually get to the no. Just kidding.
Greg has been such a welcome member to the podcast. We love having Greg on.
Yes, we really do. We love Greg.
And he's
He
extremely
nearly talks
helpful.
my ear off, though.
Hmm?
Said he nearly talks my ear off, though.
Yeah, he's
Really?
just an absolute motor
He
mouth,
does,
really.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's all over the place when
He
it comes to
really-
that.
yeah, he really gets in the way.
So our next guest who's coming on, which it might be a minute here, they're going to readjust everything that's going on, but it will be Michelle Parks, who now she doesn't want to be referred to this way, but for context, she's Greg's wife, and Greg is her husband. So that's just the way that we'll refer to that. She is going to be now known as our resident book expert. Michelle is very into reading. Correspondent. Thank you, Nate.
Yeah.
Correspondent.
Makes us feel official.
Yeah, it really gives us the educational kind of like deep meaning. Yeah. Andrew, tell us
Real
a little
deal.
bit about your sister-in-law.
Well, her name is Michelle.
Thanks.
She's right into the books, I can tell you that firsthand. Yeah. She came over a couple days ago and she said she read like 30 something books this year. So in the past 2
Wow.
months, she's read like 30 something books. She's right into that, which is
I think I've
great.
read half a book.
Yeah, you want to ask me about that? I haven't read a book since high school. And she's right into the cats as well. That did not sound good at all. She loves cats. And she's just a sweetheart. Absolute sweetheart. I love her.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. Real Hours book correspondent, Michelle Parks.
I've been watching in the other room, and when Andrew came on in his suit, I thought there's no way I'm gonna be able to top that. And the only thing I could think to do was, that's the wrong way.
The other
Put my cat-
Bring Rhea into that.
yeah.
Rhea, which is Real Hours resident cat. Anyway, Michelle, you love your cat. Greg loves the cat too. Andrew loves the cat. Everybody loves Rhea. Tell us a little bit about Rhea, a little bit how you found her, and her, like, who she is.
Okay. Well, we adopted Rhea back in August. We adopted her from the Perfect Cup here in Fredericton. She was a rescue from somewhere in Woodstock. We got her through the shelter Dunroman. And she is really dumb. She's very cute, very sweet, very snuggly. Just makes some weird decisions. She likes to yell a lot at night. She's also might be allergic to Andrew because 2 of the 3 times that Andrew's come over to visit since we've had her, she has thrown up pretty much immediately.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Andrew, come on, buddy.
I know. I have a very clear energy that puts a lot of people off. I guess it affects Rhea that way.
So, Rhea will be appearing on more podcasts. I think she actually already appeared in one. Maybe last
Yeah,
episode or the one before. Yeah.
I think so.
But the people love Rhea. The people, they can't get enough
She's
of
our
Rhea.
mascot.
Can we? That's right. That's the way
She's
she
our
should be
mascot.
referred to as. Real Hours mascot. Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, please let us know how much you love Rhea. Look how cute she is. Just curled up, just on her little corrugated cardboard, whatever thing. Is that a bone she has there? I thought bones were for dogs.
It's a tiny little pink dinosaur stuffed animal that Andrew got her for Christmas.
Oh, It looks like a bone from here, but it's a pink dinosaur. Wow, about the opposite of a bone. Good on you, PJ. Michelle, I understand that you have prepared some trivia for us. Is that correct?
Yes, I have.
Would you care to elaborate on that and get into the trivia?
Yeah, so when I asked you the other day what you wanted me to prepare, I was told that I should do some trivia, and I was thinking about what I wanted that to be on, and I decided I should do some animal trivia.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Yeah, so these start off, well, the first question's kind of easy, and then it gets kind of weird.
How many questions do we have?
I have 10. They're all pretty short, though.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Should we keep score?
We should keep score. I'm not
Always.
prepared to, though.
I'll
so
keep
need
score here. I
somebody
got a
else
piece
to.
of paper and a pen.
Okay.
You're gonna inflate the numbers for you.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so like I said, this first question is probably pretty easy, and then they get kind of weird. But
Okay.
question number 1 is, how many hearts do octopi have?
1,
3.
2.
Well, the answer is 3. They have 3
Boom.
hearts.
Andrew.
Really?
1 for
Let's
Andrew.
go.
They have 3 hearts.
Yeah. They
Learn something new every day.
I think, don't have any bones except for a little tiny beak.
Yes. Yeah, it's like for eating with, I believe.
Typically, beaks are, yeah. Question number 2. Number 2 is a true or false, and it is some species of jellyfish are immortal. Is that true or false?
True.
False.
Peter, Nate?
Can't be true.
It is true. There is a type of jellyfish called Turritopus dorni, and they are able to revert back to a childlike state after becoming sexually mature. So they can just keep doing that, and they never die.
What
Question
the
number
heck? Wow.
Question
Okay.
number 3. This is, some of you might remember this was kind of a meme going around a few years ago, and it is, how long can snails sleep for?
Forever.
A week.
A year.
Andrew is the closest with 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Could you
That's a
imagine
really
sleeping
long
for
time.
3 years?
For
I actually
3
did that last
honestly.
night. I slept
Paradise.
away and ask Brittany. I was she texted me and she was like, "Are you getting up? Or you're like sleeping in? What's the deal here?" And yeah, I slept in. So
All right, question number 4. What is the global ratio of ants to humans?
Oh.
1 billion to 1.
When I asked Greg this question earlier, he said 10. Nate and Andrew, you got a guess?
1 million to 1.
I was gonna say million, so I'm gonna go with 100,000 to 1.
It is 1 million. 1 million ants.
Look at Nate. Look at Nate. That's so many ants. When I think about ants, I just feel itchy sometimes. You know,
I see that, yeah.
that's wild.
Question number 5. Can bats walk?
No.
That's
No.
correct. Their leg bones are too thin. They can't support their bodies.
Come on, let's go. I'm on the
So-
board.
This is a fun one. Is it?
Oh,
and
so
it-
is that why they hang? Is that why they like hang in a cave, you know?
maybe. I actually don't know why they hang. If anybody knows why bats do that, leave a comment in the
Well-
in the chat.
Bats started the coronavirus, so
Anyways, moving
anyway.
on.
Which animal has the fastest punch? And
Kangaroo.
for a bonus point, how fast is that fastest punch?
A cheetah.
I
It
say
is
kangaroo.
some sort of like shrimp that lives at the bottom of the ocean. It's like as fast as a bullet or something like that.
You are right. It is a shrimp. It's called the mantis shrimp. The
Really?
information I got was the punch that is 50 miles per hour, but both you and Greg have said that it was as fast as a bullet, so I might have got that wrong.
Okay, if they both knew about it, Andrew, what's the story?
What's the story of where
you
I heard
cheating?
that from?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
Tell you?
cheating. I promise, I'm not cheating.
I protest this trivia. Official. As you can tell, Peter doesn't handle losing very well. He's pretty petty, honestly.
I'm always petty. It's because
Okay.
I'm a very naturally competitive person, but I suck at everything, and so I just am always petty. I'm in a
I
perpetual
totally
state
feel
of
that,
pettiness.
Peter. I'm
At
the
least
same
he
way.
admitted it.
What'd you say, Michelle?
I'm the same way. I totally feel that.
Okay.
Our next trivia question. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Evidence of domesticated cats dates back how many years?
5,000 years.
To the Roman Empire. No, to the Egyptians. To the Egyptians.
Can you give me a rough year estimate of what that would be?
I don't know when the friggin'
Yeah, me neither. That's the issue.
4,000 years ago.
Nate, you got to guess?
3,000 years ago.
All right, I think Andrew was the closest again that time. There's evidence that goes back as far as 9,500 years.
Wow.
Which I believe was in Egypt.
Okay.
I just have no clue about the timeline of Egypt. That's funny. Andrew, you're crushing it. You're actually crushing it. How many questions do we have left, Michelle?
We just have 3 left.
3 left. Okay.
Question number 8. What percentage of bottlenose dolphins are right-handed?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is a bottlenose dolphin?
They're just a type of dolphin with.
It's like the
skinny little
classic
noses.
dolphin.
Okay.
They're just normal dolphins, I think.
Yeah, they're the classic ones. I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna say it's a trick question that they can't be right or left-handed. That they're ambidextrous.
You would be wrong in saying that. Approximately
Okay, so I'm gonna
99
say 75. Oh, you're just gonna say 99.
sorry. Yeah, it's
That's
approximately
okay.
99.44% of those dolphins are right-handed.
Wow. So it's
Yeah.
even more of an anomaly than being human.
I have a question.
Than being human.
Yeah.
How would they figure that out? Do they like throw a ball at it and see which?
How they catch it?
Yeah, see which.
Yeah, it's gotta be something like that, like a reflex thing.
Apparently, when they tested it, it was they watched dolphins when they were hunting, and 99.44% of the time they turned onto their left side, which means that they were using their right eye for hunting.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The last 2 questions that we have are both about flies for whatever reason. Number 9 is, what key do houseflies buzz in?
The key of F.
That's correct.
Andrew's got to be
Key of
cheating.
F.
Andrew's got to
And
be cheating. I don't believe it.
Andrew, do you have perfect pitch?
Are these all from BuzzFeed?
No.
No, these are from a
BuzzFeed.
variety of different
That would
websites.
be
Yeah.
flies.
And
Flies.
Andrew already did the BuzzFeed quiz. I'm
Nate,
just
we were left out. We were left
okay.
out.
Okay.
I just
Continue.
I heard that somewhere else has something in the key of F. It was like
Wow.
some sort of car horn or toilet has like a key of F. So I just went with key of F.
Okay.
All right, our last question. It is, what characteristic do some mammals have that wards off flies?
Smell.
Okay, Nate and Andrew.
Bright colored skin or fur.
Bright colored. Bright.
This is beyond me.
I honestly don't know. I was gonna go smell or like something about their skin, but
Yeah, well, it is. It's stripes. So zebras don't get
Stripes.
attacked by flies very often, and some farmers, I guess, paint their cows with stripes so that the flies don't attack them.
Paint their cows with stripes. Interesting.
Yeah.
Amy and Joel, what do you think about painting cows? Let me know. So the final score of this, I don't know if anybody else at home was keeping track. If you let Nate get the point at the end for something to do with skin, it's 1 for me, 3 for Nate, and 7 for Andrew.
I got 3.
You have
Wait,
3,
that-
buddy, if you count the one at the end.
Time out.
Yeah.
Basic math says that you did something wrong.
No,
I
because
think he's-
multiple of us got it right on one on.
Yeah, at the end, you and Andrew both
Oh.
kind of got it right.
Okay, I
See?
thought you were giving it to whoever it said it first. Sorry, I see.
That's 11, Peter.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Andrew. We have some lovely comments here from Amy, who is a great friend of ours. She always takes care of us. Haha, never did it. That's to do with the stripes on the cows. And she says, great trivia, Michelle.
Thank you, Amy.
And Joel is asking, where do they do this? The always inquisitive Joel.
He wants.
Do you
the
know where they
proof.
painted where they painted the cows, Michelle?
I don't know. I'm sure it said in the little description I was reading, but I don't remember where it was.
They probably paint them on the cows, right?
Yeah, likely.
I-
Probably.
I think they're talking about the plate, like the region.
Yes, I was just trying to make a
Okay.
really bad joke.
So let me
you should
hide
see it,
this.
Andrew.
It's probably somewheres where there's actual insects that can do, like, I don't think, how many insects can do harm in Canada, you know what I mean, on a farm.
I know. I think that's another question for Amy and Joel.
Yeah.
Hey, Joel, sending this to you.
Let me Google that for you.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
That's one that my dad showed me. Yeah, go to the link in the comments if you'd like to know where they where they paint cows for insects because of insects. Gosh, guys, it's getting late here. I'm losing it. Okay, Michelle, you've been watching the live stream before you hopped in. Is that correct?
Yes, I was.
What do you think about the Weird Wild and Wacky Stories? What is your nominee? What would your nominee be for the Hall of Fame?
My personal favorite was the one about the monkeys with the COVID samples. Something about that was just so funny to me. I was reading the where it was posted in the Google Doc, and I thought it was one of the funniest things I've seen in a while.
Have you read any books about monkeys?
No, but I have read a book about somebody stealing stuff from a biohazard area and releasing it into the world.
There you go. What was that book?
The Stand by Stephen King.
Recommendation for you listeners. Is that a good book? Is that worth reading?
No, it's about 1,400 pages, and it could have been a 300-page book.
So it's not at all worth reading. That's quite funny.
No, if you want something similar that's better, read The Book of M by Peng Shepherd. It's much better.
The Book of M. Okay, read the Book of M, listeners, and don't forget to buy from your local bookstore.
I have a
Because
question.
we love
Book
to.
of Mormon.
I have a question.
Yeah, Nate.
Because you're our book correspondent, I thought I would get into this. Andrew, before you came on, was saying that you've read 30 books this year. Is that right?
I'm
Right.
currently reading my 34th. Yeah.
Come on.
How the heck does somebody read 34 books in less than 3 months?
The trick, which I think we all can kind of relate to right now, is just not having a social life, really. And also, in the month of January, I took 2 weeks off work for the first time since March of last year, I think. So I had a lot of free time.
So
that's
you're a
pretty much
fast
it.
reader, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really slow. You probably do like 10 pages for every like 1 page I did. I'm not even kidding.
Greg's the same way.
I have to like go back too, because I'll read a page and like take none of it in. Right? You just like read a word and you don't actually process the word. I just think it's crazy that you can read 34 books. And
Do you guys remember in high school? I don't know, Andrew or Michelle, if you had to do this, but I know that Nate probably would have, because we were going through it at the same time. You had to calculate like your reading rate. So it's basically like they were trying to get you to read every class. And so in order to do that, you'd have to calculate your reading rate, and that's how they could tell that you were like reading what you were supposed to be reading and not just like chilling on your phone in class. So I purposely botched my reading rate and made it a lot slower than I read. So it looked like I read a lot more than I was supposed to. And then I could just kind of, do whatever for half the class. Anyway, I just thought I would share that. We have a comment here. That's a question for Michelle. Favorite book to date this year, Michelle, from Pastor Peter Moore.
I don't know. I've read quite a few very good books this year. I don't know if this is my number one favorite this year, but it's one of my most recent ones that definitely was a 5-star read. And that book is called Abandoned by Blake Crouch. Blake Crouch is a phenomenal author. My favorite book series is by him. It's called Wayward Pines. I've recently watched the TV show adaptation of it, and I was disappointed. But I mean, that's always how it is with your favorite, books when they become adaptations. But
What's
quite good.
the short like premise of it?
Of Abandon or of Wayward Pines?
Oh, of Abandon.
On Christmas Day, it's not really Christmas themed or anything like that, but on Christmas Day in 1893, I believe, there's an entire town that just disappears overnight, and there's food left on the tables, and there's no evidence of where anybody went. And then it cuts between what happened in 1893 in that town and a group of investigators that hike into the mountains to this little town to try and figure out what happened in, I believe it's 2015. And it was really good.
Did this actually happen?
No, it's fiction.
Oh, okay, it's fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. The town just
wow.
disappeared, Pete.
It sounds like WandaVision.
I tragically have not seen WandaVision yet.
Well, you'll have to. Has Greg watched it?
Yeah, he has. We were gonna watch it together, and then he watched all the first 5 episodes when I was at work at night. And
Greg! When he comes back on, we're gonna give him a little scolding for that. Greg, that's not acceptable, Greg. Come on, buddy. Come on. All right, what do we have next in the list of things going on in the podcast, guys? I think we've reached that time of the episode, haven't we, Nate?
I've put a lot of work in to this segment. What should the segment, should it have a name, or should it just be
This is a
Dr.
one-time
Phil
thing.
Talk? This is, yeah, I know.
Dr. Phil Talk.
Dr. Phil Talk with Nate. In the past, 2 weeks, maybe 3, I keep getting Dr. Phil videos. You know when you, on the Facebook, you can go under the watch tab and you can just watch for hours? Which, of course, that's what I do in COVID because I'm just stuck at home doing nothing sometimes. So why not, right? So I keep getting Dr. Phil videos showing up. And it brought me back to my grade 4, 5, 11 or 12. I can't remember. I had this weird thing where I would come home and I'd watch Dr. Phil every day. Not every day, but a lot. Sounds pretty weird for some kid that's 11, right? But there I was doing it. Anyways, I think it's because we also didn't have cable at the time, and we only got CTV, CBC, and Global. So it was the only thing that was on at the time. Anyways, so I just think Dr. Phil is actually super whack when you actually watch it back now. And I just thought it'd be great to put together a little, just quick. This was it's really corny, and I did it really quickly in my spare time. But I just wanted to, celebrate the wackiness of Dr. Phil. Has anyone spent time watching Dr. Phil ever?
I've never watched the show, but I know what it's like to be caught up on the YouTube clips. Because last year, there was about a month where I just watched all of the YouTube clips.
Michelle, have you watched Dr. Phil at all?
The extent of the Dr. Phil that I've seen is, I think probably the most famous contestant or the person that was on it, and that's the Cash Me Outside girl.
Cash Me Outside, how about that?
Yeah, I've seen that one 5-minute clip, and that's it.
So if anyone doesn't know, Dr. Phil is a therapist, although I use that term lightly. He does say some really correct things when he talks to people, but he also hosts a show in which he publicly talks about a lot of family matters, a lot of spoiled, rotten kids, a lot of tempered kids, and then they just all end up fighting, and he's the holy grail, and anything he says is, and the crowd always laughs if he basically makes fun of anyone on the show. Not hating on Dr. Phil personally, but kind of a little bit. Just
No shame in hating on Dr. Phil, if you ask me.
The fact that I want there to be Dr. Phil because I just think it's hilarious. It makes a podcast segment, but at the same time, I'm how do you have a show in which you just exploit family problems and talk about them as a therapist? Anyways, enough talking. Peter, please Roll the footage.
Roll film.
Roll film.
You need to sit tight, sir.
No, I don't.
You need to sit tight.
Answer my
I'm
question.
videotaping everything right now.
Somebody's saying, hold it right there. Stay right there. Pull over here. Move on. Go forward. You're directing traffic.
Either I'm breaking down her door or she's breaking down my door. I don't stop till I start seeing dents in the door. I don't behave, I'm disrespectful. I steal cars. I steal her credit card. I ain't gonna lie, there's no reason to lie. Everybody know already.
What now? I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Are you speaking English? Did you go to the 5th grade? Full extent of the
Then
law.
I do my time in jail. Jail ain't nothing. That's what I always do, and they never catch me. Ain't nobody gonna catch me. Catch me outside, how about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside, how about that?
You wrote into me. Tell me what you wanted me to get straight with your mom.
I want my mom to understand that I can't live off of $1,000 a month. I need her to understand that I need at least $2,500 a month.
Well, I understand you want it, but why do you said I need the G-Wagon. Why do you need
I
a
really
G-Wagon?
like the way it looks. I've wanted one for over 2 years now. She wants to give me a Mercedes C-Class. I will accept that car. I'm really happy with that car, but the thing is,
My car doesn't cost $231,000.
why not? I mean, why doesn't it? Well, I want to. We're talking about me here. This
Yeah,
is
so-
my show.
This neighbor came out and she just lost her mind.
Yo, she mad, fam. I'm gonna go confront her. She's still yelling.
I turned to my fans and I said, hey, if we hit 50,000 likes on this video, I will ride my dirt bike by the Karen's house.
Okay, and you don't think you've been disrespectful to her?
I wasn't the one who started it, really, so.
Are you kidding me? I watched the video and you said 50,000 likes and I'll go
was
down there and do
literally
it
after she
again.
came-
It's actually a definition of a Karen and it's in the dictionary and it says obnoxious, angry, entitled, often racist, middle-aged white woman who uses her privilege to get her way or police others' behaviors.
He sounds like her, huh?
Ask his brother Michael to pretend to be his father
I
when
never asked, it
confronted
was a
by an
joke.
angry neighbor that he calls Karen, which, by the way, her name isn't Karen. He's labeling her Karen. We're back with 62-year-old Bill and his 23-year-old girlfriend, Bree, who are one of the couples featured on Lifetime's hit series Marrying Millions.
When Bill and Bree started dating, he wanted me to meet with Bree. What Bill wanted was me to teach Bree how to be me. That she enjoys doing comes Bill's wondering eye.
That was genuinely disturbing.
Classic
Right?
Dr. Phil.
So, like, you spend half the time laughing, but then when you really think about it, you go, wait, so what? Like,
There's a lot of double takes in that video. There's a lot of like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
I want a G-Wagon. She wants to give me a Mercedes S-Class, but yeah, that's not
actually-
good enough.
that's probably my favorite one. So basically, the backstory on that, a lot of those clips, they're cut together, so a lot of things are missed. Her mom and her went on the show, and up until then, she was given $2,500 in allowance, and then or a lot more, and so her mom only wanted to give her $1,000.
Only.
And she was so distraught by it that she wanted to go, and she was 15. So it makes
Do
you
any of us
wonder-
actually make $2,500 a month? Like from our work?
No. Oh, look at that! I lost my.
Drew.
I'm gonna finish my thought, and then you guys are gonna have to carry it for a second. All right.
Yes.
What was I saying, Peter? I was talking about. She. Does anyone make 2,500? That's what you said. And
Yeah.
then I was gonna say that. Okay, so yeah, she wants to make 1,000, or she wants 2,500, right? My thoughts on her is that it might be fake. I'm pretty sure it might be fake.
Might be actor.
Like half of this might be acting.
I think that's
What do you
the
guys?
way it goes
I don't
with-
know. I don't know.
I feel like that's just the way it goes with most reality TV shows.
Yeah.
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 It might be. So you know what it might be? It might be that there's actually a problem going on or whatever, and that there is somebody like she is asking for more money from her parents. But then when they come on Dr. Phil, they say, "Oh, you want $500 a month? Why don't you up it to $1,000 a month or something? Why don't you you know what I mean? Like they're getting them to exaggerate the problem just so that it's a little bit more enticing for the viewers."
Well, and I think the thing is that I actually, when I was on YouTube doing my deep dives into Dr. Phil, I came across her YouTube channel. So this girl has a YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure who wouldn't want to go on Dr. Phil, because a bunch of people will watch, and then you'll get free subscribers from it, right?
Oh yeah, any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. So and she did a reaction video watching that episode on her YouTube channel. And her and her mom were laughing about it, and they thought it was hilarious. It's like, so was it all just a ploy to make a couple bucks more or something like that? But the first one there, the basically in Florida, there's certain rules, and so there's this Florida man, and he basically has been said that he's impersonating police officers. But what they do, his company, they run like the procession for like funerals, like when like a motorcade, when you like travel to. So basically that video was one of his employees like directing traffic. And if you saw, I should have got a picture of the bikes, but if you see the pictures of the bikes and the outfits that they wear, they just straight up look like they're police officers, but they're not. But the crazy thing to me is like, what's this doing on a show with a therapist? Like,
yeah, that's like an actual legal issue.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what's
that?
that?
Should be on Judge Judy or something.
Yeah, exactly. like if you're gonna have a reality TV show based off of like therapy things and like being a therapist, then stick to therapist things, not a guy that's impersonating his agency is impersonating police officers. That was just my opinion on that one, but.
So this begs the question then. What are we know what Nate's internet YouTube vice is. Andrew, what's your internet binging vice?
What would you mean by vice?
Something that's like a little cringy, maybe a little bit like not sketchy or risky or anything like that, but like just like something along the similar vein as Dr. Phil, something that you like to partake in, you like to watch, but you wouldn't tell anybody necessarily. Nate told me about a TV show that he's been watching that may be a little vice for him. It's the top one on Netflix in Canada, and that's all I'll say.
Coming of age shows, they just get me, man. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
What is it for you, Andrew?
For me, Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay.
Yes, that is a good one.
They're so funny, and it's not necessarily like the restaurants or what is going on that's funny. To me, what's funny is all of the like stupid reality TV show cliches, like the fast-paced editing and the violin sound effects and the cymbal sound effects. Those make me laugh all the time.
So
it's like that show stuck in like the early 2000s. It's hilarious.
So that reminds me, as I was doing my Dr. Phil YouTube research, there was a crossover between Kitchen Nightmares and Dr. Phil, where have you ever watched the episode where there's the gentleman who actually just yells at his customers and like tells them to get the frig out of my restaurant, and he doesn't tip his workers?
Yeah,
you know that.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So they were on Dr. Phil I didn't make the cut just because I wanted to keep it, the time down on the video. But they were crazy. Like he just yells and screams right at like people that are entering their workplace, and they like her his wife like stood by her, who like runs the restaurant with her, but is crazy.
Michelle, what's your internet binge vice?
Sorry, I just have a quick question for Andrew. Is Kitchen
Oh, yeah.
Nightmares the one where Gordon Ramsay takes 2 pieces of bread and puts them on either side of the girl's head and says, "What are you?" And she says, "An idiot sandwich"? Or is that a different Gordon Ramsay show?
That's Hell's Kitchen.
That's Hell's Kitchen. Okay.
Yeah.
That's anytime I think of Gordon Ramsay, that's like the very first thing that comes to mind is, "What are you? An idiot sandwich."
Where's the lamb sauce?
Peter,
That's a classic
Peter,
one,
you
too.
should get that one up. You should get the
The idiot sandwich clip.
idiot sandwich.
It won't be able to share audio is the problem.
Okay. Oh, right, because you have to.
And to answer Peter's question, I honestly, I wasn't going to admit this, and then you told Andrew to admit something embarrassing. So my reality TV show, YouTube Vice, is The Bachelor. I watched season 24, which was Peter's season, as it was happening. My roommate at the time was really into it, and we ended up watching it. And then I've seen the season of The Bachelorette that was after that, and the current season of The Bachelor I've watched entirely in wrap-up videos and random clips that Bachelor posts and like memes. And it's embarrassing, but kind of, it's just a really stupid show, and it's so fake. But I mean, it's like the same as Dr. Phil. You just can't stop watching.
You can't. My internet YouTube vice is watching politicians and media members kind of like argue or like mess up or like say controversial things or whatever. I love watching what was the clip that I showed you, Nate? It was like 5 times that Fox News has been corrected by their guest, and it was really, really funny.
Yeah.
It was, one of them was like they were denying climate change and they had Bill Nye on and they were talking about like volcanoes, and the host was thinking that he really knew his stuff, and then Bill Nye was like, well, surely if you actually knew what you were talking about, then you would know that volcanoes have nothing to do with nice Andrew, that volcanoes have nothing to do with climate change. And they just, I just love watching little clips like that.
I love those ones because it's like when they have Bill Nye on, like, why would you deny climate change while Bill Nye is sitting next to you on like a national platform? Like, obviously he's going to correct you.
Like, why did you bring this guest
anywhere
on who is an expert in their field and just deny what they're talking about? Anyway, what do you say, Nate?
That's my favorite thing about journalism. A lot of it out of the States. It happens other places, but it's just like the general, like, we're going to have this like expert in a field come on, and then our anchors are going to belittle them and act like they don't know what they're talking about. Why bother having an expert on if you just, as the anchor or the reporter, think you know it better, right? Like, just don't bother having the professional on. Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing for like the anchors they're embarrassing themselves, really, is what it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we're getting to the end of our live stream here. We've actually been going for quite a while, almost 100 minutes. We've got a couple things. Well, actually, nothing really left. Michelle, why don't you call Greg back in? You guys can both come in to sign off.
Okay. I think he's watching, so I'm just gonna wait a minute. And
he's watching. Greg will be in 8 seconds. Then I think that's what the delay is between StreamYard and YouTube. So, Andrew, thank you for coming on. We appreciate your insights. Especially into Gordon Ramsay and the Word Wild and Wacky Stories that we have. Listeners, watch out for the polls coming on our social media so you can vote on who belongs in the WWWS Hall of Fame. Did I say 3 W's? I always question myself.
Weird, Wild, and Wacky Stories.
Come on, it doesn't get much better than that, does it? Greg's back. And Greg, would you just grab Rhea first, please, so we can just get the whole Parks family right in that picture there?
I don't
grab
think
Rhea,
he can
please.
hear.
Oh, he can't hear us. That's right.
He doesn't have headphones on.
So thank you so much to the listeners for tuning in. We appreciate each and every single one of you left comments and all that stuff. You can follow us on social media at Real Hours Pod. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. We won't spam you, we promise. We'll just have a video once a week or so when there's a new episode, and you can watch it, enjoy it. Maybe more live streams coming. Nate, do you have anything to add before we sign off here?
Thanks for coming to the inaugural Weird, Wild, and Wacky Stories Hall of Fame. And just thank you for coming to the first live podcast.
We love you, listeners, and with that, we will leave you until the next.
This is gonna be monthly, right, Pete?
Monthly live stream?
I feel like it. Something like
I'm into that. I'm into that. Weekly episodes, monthly live stream. How's that sound?
Yeah, I like that.
All right, that's it. Peace out.